Liberate your children, or our children. There's a new report out detailing the extremism that was observed at the so-called Moms for Liberty Philly gathering. Well, I shouldn't say so-called, that's their actual name. Moms for Liberty Philly gathering in Philadelphia this last weekend. There were a lot of, first of all, there were a lot of protesters outside. Because, I mean, this is probably the nation's leading leading group trying to ban books by gay authors and by black authors, or about gay topics, the whole spectrum, LGBTQ topics, or black history or black topics. This is the group that is most out there doing everything they possibly can to try to get these books banned. And, Ron DeSantis spoke, Donald Trump spoke, Nikki Haley spoke, Dennis Prager was there. DeSantis railed against wokeness. Trump said, I promise to liberate our children. Right. In fact, he went on to say, on day one, I will sign an executive order for any public schools that are engaged in these militant and country-destroying practices. I will instruct the DOJ to pursue them as violators of the Establishment Clause of the Free Exercise Clause of our Constitution. You know, I would bet $50 that Donald Trump, well, I shouldn't say $50. I typically don't bet. But in any case, I'd bet that Donald Trump doesn't even know what the Establishment Clause is. But Moms for Liberty is not a new thing. The media is all in love with them. ABC News did a real fluff piece on them, talking about, oh, they're mad and they're upset, but they're moms, isn't it sweet? Back in the 60s, I remember this. I mean, I'm an old fart here. I remember this back in the 60s and in the 50s even, although I don't remember the part from the 50s, but I know about it. There were these white women's groups, mostly white suburban women. My mother was not involved in this. This was not my dad's part of the GOP. But there were these white women's groups who were going bonkers about communism in our school books. And the main communism that they were opposed to was the communism of Martin Luther King and any kind of favorable history of black contributions in the history of America, any kind, the history of race relations in America, the stories of what led up to the Brown versus Board of Education ruling in 1954. There were numerous, these groups were all over the country, these white women, middle class moms groups that, wanted to maintain segregated schools. And it sure looks to me like, Moms for Liberty is just basically a modern day reinvention of this.